Have you ever wondered how our choices today can shape the world of tomorrow? As we journey through the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, it's easy to forget that our actions have consequences, and not just for us, but for the world at large. Take a moment to ponder climate change. It's not just a buzzword or a headline. It's a reality that's altering our planet and the way we live. The climate is changing, and it's happening right now, right here. It's not a distant future, it's our present. Every choice we make, from the cars we drive to the food we eat, has an impact on our environment. These choices either contribute to the problem or become part of the solution. We are not mere spectators in this unfolding drama. We are the actors. We are the ones who can either exacerbate the situation or turn the tide. The earth does not belong to man, man belongs to the earth. How are we treating our home? The numbers tell a story of a changing world. Our planet is undergoing a transformation, one that's measurable, palpable, and undeniably real. When we delve into the facts and figures, the magnitude of this change becomes starkly clear. Let's start with global temperatures. Since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, our world has warmed by an average of 1.2 degrees Celsius. That may not seem like much, but when we consider the scales we are dealing with, it's a significant rise. This increase in temperature has far-reaching consequences, impacting weather patterns, ecosystems, and even human health. Now let's talk about ice. The vast expanses of white that blanket our poles are shrinking. Over the past 30 years, we've seen an alarming decline in Arctic sea ice. In fact, each decade, the Arctic loses an average of 13% of its ice. That's roughly the size of South Africa, disappearing every 10 years. As this ice melts, it contributes to sea level rise, threatening coastal cities and communities worldwide. Speaking of water, let's not forget the increasing intensity and frequency of natural disasters. From cyclones to wildfires, we are witnessing a surge in extreme weather events. Just last year, the world experienced an unprecedented number of extreme weather disasters, resulting in billions of dollars in damages and immeasurable loss of life. These are not isolated incidents, but symptoms of our warming planet. Then, there's the elephant in the room, carbon dioxide. Our atmosphere is now packed with more CO2 than at any point in the last 800,000 years. The concentration of CO2 has increased by nearly 40% since pre-industrial times, from 280 parts per million to over 400 today. This greenhouse gas traps heat in our atmosphere, acting like a blanket that's slowly but surely warming our planet. These facts and figures are not just numbers on a page. They are a stark reflection of the state of our world, a world that is changing under the weight of human activity. They tell a story of melting ice caps, rising seas, intensifying storms, and a warming planet. But the numbers only paint part of the picture. To truly understand the implications of these changes, we need to explore what they mean for us, for our communities, our economies, and our future. Staggering, isn't it? But numbers are just numbers until we understand what they mean for us and our future. But what do these numbers mean for us, you might ask? Well, let's dive into that. Climate change isn't just a far-off concept. It's a reality with tangible consequences that can and do affect our day-to-day lives. When we talk about climate change, we're not just talking about warmer summers or melting polar ice caps. We're talking about a shift in our world that touches every aspect of our existence. Let's start with health. As the climate warms, we're likely to see an increase in heat-related illnesses. This includes heat strokes and cardiovascular problems. Rising temperatures also mean that disease-carrying insects like mosquitoes can survive in more places, potentially causing a surge in diseases like malaria and dengue fever. Then there's food security. As temperatures rise and weather patterns become more unpredictable, the crops we depend on for food can become less reliable. Droughts, floods, and unpredictable weather events can all impact crop yield, making it harder for farmers to produce the food we need. Now imagine your home being threatened by rising sea levels. As polar ice melts, sea levels rise, and that can lead to coastal flooding. Imagine having to leave your home, your community, your entire life behind because the sea is literally at your doorstep. This is not a dystopian novel, it's a potential reality for millions of people living in coastal regions around the world. Living conditions, as we know them, are also set to change. Extreme weather events like hurricanes and heat waves are expected to become more frequent and more intense. This could lead to increased destruction of homes and infrastructure and even loss of life. So when we talk about climate change, we're talking about our health, our food, our homes, and our very way of life. It's not just about saving the polar bears or the rainforests, it's about saving ourselves. The clock is ticking, and each tick echoes in the changes we are witnessing. The question now is, what can you do about it? It's time we realize that each one of us plays a crucial role in combating climate change. Imagine if each one of us took simple steps to reduce our carbon footprint. We could make a significant difference. Consider adopting a plant-based diet. Livestock farming generates nearly a fifth of the world's greenhouse gases. You don't have to become a full-time vegetarian, but perhaps consider meat-free Mondays. What about waste? The less we waste, the less we need to produce. Try to recycle, reuse, and repurpose as much as you can. Switching to renewable energy is another powerful way to fight back. Solar or wind power, anyone? And let's not forget advocacy. Use your voice to demand policies that mitigate climate change. Remember, change begins at home and it begins with you. Today, make a choice that your future self will thank you for.